As evidence mounts that eating plant-based may allow us to age free from chronic disease, institutions like the Hayek Hospital in Lebanon have chosen to remove animal-based foods from their menus, becoming the first to offer only plant-based foods and breaking with the current business model of other medical centers. Many years ago, processed meats such as bacon, turkey, deli slices, were put on the carcinogen list right next to cigarette smoking. Hospitals still serve that stuff in their cafeterias. How is that even possible?
It's really financial. On the first floor, they're feeding you the bacon and the turkey, ham, and the pepperoni. On the second floor, they're scoping you for colon cancer, and on the third floor, they're doing the surgery. So it's all a financially oiled machine.
Some school cafeterias have also made changes to their menus, like the ones in New York City public schools that implemented Vegan Fridays, a move that wasn't popular among all of the students.
What I've seen is that kids, when the schools offer something healthy, they won't take it. So really, it's really important to teach them to eat healthy at home.
Fortunately, it's sad because I remember I grew up when I was hungry after school, I would grab an orange or a mango and I would eat fruit as my snacks. And I see some children nowadays that they don't even know what all of these fruits taste like. Even in our native lands, they're used to processed foods and fatty foods. So we're just disconnected from nature. And a lot of parents, they feel that they're busy, or maybe that they feel that whatever the kids are eating in school, is what they want. They want to please the children, and so it's just swaying and the trend more towards eating unhealthy versus eating whole foods.
So I was in high school. I went to the doctor. In order to get into the soccer team, you have to go past the physical exam. So I went to the doctor and they told me that I have like hypertension. I was like, even the doctor was surprised because he was like, oh, you are so young, you play a lot of soccer and other sports, and here, you have this. So he asked me the best way to do it is to cut some meat, soda, which is high in sodium. I start doing it. And from there, I started seeing like a better result. I went back to the doctor, and he's like, okay, we're seeing results. After 3 years, I hear about veganism, which is no meat at all, anything about like animal products. So I went into it, started doing it. It's been 5 years already. Last year, I did my first competition in natural bodybuilding, which it went great for me. And now I'm still doing it, getting the natural muscles powered by plants.
So I've been vegan for 3 years. I started as a challenge because I do different challenges monthly. So I did that and I realized that I didn't need any meat anymore, really. Like, you have so many options nowadays, you can veganize everything.
At a vegan food festival, we met Erica Vargas, who says she noticed that when she stopped eating animal-based foods, her digestive problems went away. She says that despite her dietary change, she continues to enjoy her traditional dishes.
I'm a Peruvian who goes to Peruvian restaurants who nowadays have a lot of vegan or vegetarian options.
She says at home you can slowly start to replace animal-based foods in the recipes you already love.
Made a normal lomo saltado, but instead of using the steak, I use mushrooms. I made papa a la huancaína, which is very known, but I veganize it also.
I think a lot of times people think that plant-based eating is really boring and it's really one-dimensional things. I think for me, plant-based eating is a lot about bringing in more nutrient-dense, alive foods. So it's not necessarily about whether or not you're a plant-based eater and whether or not you're totally vegan, but it's more about how you're looking at the food that you eat holistically and trying to eat more naturally and more according to how we evolved as humans.
Many restaurants already offer plant-based options, and if they don't have vegan dishes, you can put together your own plate ordering off the sides menu. As for the food you bring home, nutritionist Katia Galvis recommends getting organized before going shopping. What do I have to have in my pantry to make this happen?
Well, yeah, I try to have the 4 main groups of foods. Like you see here, I have legumes, which are a good source of protein. I have grains, usually whole grains.
She recommends planning your menu to keep costs down and avoid wasting food. She says that those who think that eating healthy is expensive are not planning properly.
If you compare beans with a pound of meat, you will see that beans, rice, and vegetables are cheaper than meat and milk, you know. So also you have to think of what you're buying. For example, if you start buying all these veggie meats, right? They are very expensive, very, very expensive. And a lot of people try to add those when they are transitioning, but they can get very expensive. We don't have to buy those foods, transition foods as I call them, and just buying the simple whole food without any processing. And you will, you know, be saving a lot of money.
She says if you focus on unprocessed foods, in other words, foods that come from a plant like this, instead of this, you will save a lot of money at the store, and that's not all. In 2020, Americans spent $4.1 trillion on health care, 3 times what we spent in 2000.
If you keep eating processed food and heavy in meat and dairy, at the end or in the long run, you're going to end up paying for medications or for doctor visits or hospitalizations. So you have to look to long term, because the plant-based nutrition or food will help you keep you healthy and, you know, for a long time. So it's very important.
That's why it's more important than ever to start replacing pro-inflammatory and disease-causing foods with vegetables, roots, fruits, whole grains, legumes, seeds, and nuts. It's a way so many people have begun healing through food.